Bayonne City Council passes the authorization to approve the agreement with Bayonne Bay developers. This is part of the 3 lawsuits related to the Peninsula at Bayonne Bay Harbor. In 2007, Trammell Crow Residential agreed to build the Election City View under the stipulation that the Bayonne Local Redevelopment Agency agreed in writing that a container port would be prohibited. The BLRA was dissolved in 2013 and sold 131 acres to the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey to build a container port. Trammell Crow Residential teamed up with Fidelco, Bayonne Realty, and Bayonne Bay developers and filed a lawsuit against the city and the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey. As part of the lawsuit settlement between Trammell and the city removed the city minimum payment requirement on the developers' payments in lieu of taxes. Fidelco received a 30-year tax abatement. Outside City Council Joe Bauman explains the third and final lawsuit settlement.
As a result of the transaction, Bayonne Bay developers will be buying approximately 20 acres of property in the Bayonne Bay district. That's a portion of the entire district. It wraps around the current Election View project to the east and to the bottom and goes out, heading out east on Bayonne Bay district, leaving an additional portion to be made available to another developer. It also goes all the way up more or less to the boundary north of the Maritime District, leaving a portion of property that will be remain a buffer and potentially sports fields for the city going forward. They're going to pay the same price as the Fidelco on a per acre basis, which is approximately $1,016,000 per acre. They're going to buy all the property, including the property that is to become 2 parks. There's a triangular park, and then there's the big crescent park. It's called that, as you've seen in the plans before. The way the transaction will work is the Bayonne Bay developers are going to buy all this property. They're going to then build for the city both of the parks, the Center Street, Memorial Boulevard, and all the interior roads, and then dedicate those back for no cost to the city, so that then the subsequent developer will be able to meet the utilities and the roads and complete the project. So as part of the transaction, not only are they paying the purchase price, which at 20 acres is roughly $21 million, but they're also, for us, building these parks, and most importantly, the Hudson River Walkway. In exchange, the developer will be able to build not more than 560 residential units. They're going to be laid out, again, more or less in accordance with this concept plan. We have sufficient highway access permit capacity to accommodate that build-out, and we promise to them that they'll have that capacity as part of their project. The other, and perhaps in some ways one of the most significant components of this transaction, and why all 3 deals had to get settled, property get settled, is the Maritime District was deed restricted when it was sold to Ports America significantly. And as a result, as you look at on that 90 acres of very valuable land, you'll note that there's not much built there. There's a roll-in, roll-out auto terminal. That's pretty much all they can build. So $90 million for the property doesn't really have any improvements, hence not a lot of rate base. One of the critical components of settling all these 3 lawsuits was allowing the city now to have the ability to go to the Maritime District developer and negotiate with them for a change in their deed, which will free up their ability to do more on their property, hence a significant benefit to the city being a project that could be built there, that could not be built there today because of the deed restrictions. But once we settle all these lawsuits, can then be built, and the city will have the ability to negotiate with that property owner to get the best deal for the freeing up deed restrictions.
And the buffer zone, I mean, I don't know if it's been discussed yet, if that has to go to the planning board or not, but is it going to be a berm of higher land, a wall?
No, it's going to be in a natural state dependent upon what Ports America or the Port Authority does. So the buffer agreement deals with should there be the Port Authority develops in land that results in higher traffic, then they have to take steps to minimize the impact of the residents.
Right. Well, my concern is these residents, obviously the whole restrictive covenant was about a container port. So is that going to be high enough if there are
30-year, sorry, there's a 30-year moratorium on the container port.
Okay, that works.
Mr. Cotter?
Aye.
Mr. Galais?
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa?
Aye.
Mr. Perez? Aye. President Jurafsky?
Aye.
Bayonne Bay made a $14 million deposit 6 years ago and will have $17 million in credit. The Port Authority of New York, New Jersey has also agreed in a settlement not to build a container port on the peninsula for the next 30 years. And for the Hudson River Waterway, there will be infrastructure improvements for sidewalks and roadways. From Bayonne, I'm Jeanette Josu, Hudson County View, the eye of the community.